Hello again, everyone. This morning I was having a little play and I remembered a technique that I'd learned some years ago at a retreat, a craft retreat. And this is how I made this particular background. I haven't actually used this particular products before, but the process was the same. So, my proposition this morning is to make a card from this background and show you on another one how I made it. Okay, so the products I used to make this one were these. They're from Pretty Gets Gritty and they are pigment powders. And these ones are really, really full of mica and lots of colours. And when mixed with liquid, with water or whatever, loads of colours appear that don't seem apparent in the mixture itself. I actually only used 3 of these on this, but I can't remember which 3 they were. I know I used the dark one. I think I used this blue one, but I can't remember which of these 2 I used. They've got wonderful names. This one's Unicorn, this one's Mermaid, this one's Zeus, and this one's Neptune. There you go. Right, how I got them onto the piece of card to start to activate them, I'm getting myself in my tongue tied this morning, was this spray starch. I originally did the technique using Brushos, but Brushos, of course, don't have mica in them. Really, really vibrant, strong colours, but no mica. And I just thought it would be nice to do some mica. So what I'm going to do is start another background. I don't think it'll be ready by the time I've finished making the card, but you might just be able to see kind of what goes on. So I'll just put that at the back for a minute. This is the card panel I've cut. I used a paper rose die and I cut out this aperture because what my idea is that I'm going to use part of this lovely background on display behind the aperture. And then I thought I would use a little of what's left for a butterfly. And I've dug out these butterflies and I picked these because they are, although they've got texture on them, each of them has got texture, they are solid. So I'll have lots of the colours to show. I looked at that and I think that one's going to be just too big for, you know, it'll obscure all the leaves. So that one is a possibility, I thought. Or I could use these, the 2 smaller ones of the set of 3 of poppy stamps, hang on now, butterflies. And I can either use one or one over the top of the other, and they might do for size. So that's kind of my thinking. So we'll see how we go on. But I'll do that presently. I'll just do the process of making the background first of all. Where can I put that? On my magnet at the back. That's my card base I've made ready. So I've got just scraps here of odds and ends. So the first, let me use the larger one, the largest, should I say, of the bits I've got here. The first thing to do is to just spray some of the starch onto the card. I'm just wondering whether to try Luscious powders instead of, there we go, instead of the Pretty Gets Gritty ones. I could try, couldn't I? Here are my Luscious powders. I've got 2, oh that's teal. I've got 2 Peacocks. I wondered if I should, that's Peacock. Perhaps I'll use some Peacock. And what's this one? Sparkling Waterfall. Quite like that. And what shall we use with that? Crushed velvet. Shall we try that? Right, let's just try these and see what happens. All right, with these, I'm going to have to tap it on with my brush. With these, they've got a little nozzle so you can just squirt them out. So let's try these and just see what happens. The iridescence is just fabulous. Love it. That one was the Peacock. Okay. This one is Sparkling Waterfall. They are such beautiful, beautiful colours. There we go. Well, this is kind of an experiment. I don't know how this is going to turn out because I haven't tried Luscious powders before with starch. It's just spray starch that you spray on your laundry before you iron it to get it nice and crisp. I remember I was on a ship once, and one of the guests on our table for dinner was actually one of the guest speakers on board. American guy, lovely chap, had been the ambassador to Saudi Arabia, and he was telling a story in one of his lectures one day, saying that he liked his collars starched, and he'd asked somewhere, he was staying in a hotel or something, and the man misunderstood and he starched his shorts instead, and he wasn't very comfortable. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to do is put some, now this has got lots of names, cling wrap, saran wrap, cling film, whatever you call it in wherever you live, and you put that on the top and you just squish it up like this. The more squishes, the more lines of interest you'll get, and that is kind of it. And then you just leave that on one side to dry. So I'm going to put that on one side. I'll make the card and we'll have a look at it and see what state it's in by the time I finish the card. It does take a little while to dry, I have to say. Pop that down to dry and just wipe up the residue off my glass mat. You really need, if you want to do a lot, you need some space. Outside is a good place to put them on a tarp or something, just to give them, you know, a chance to dry off. But I first came across this with Kylie when she organised a retreat in Swindon. How you can organise a retreat in Swindon when you live in Australia is, I think, is just amazing. But she did, and she did it twice. Wonderful. Right, now let's just have a go at making this card. Okay, shouldn't be too difficult. So I've got my panel, I've got my base, I've got my background. Okay, so first thing is to decide which bit of this I would like to use for my background. That's rather nice, isn't it? Just there. Okay, let me put some foam tape on the back of here. Huge reel. This is from Sticks to Anything. And on their website, they don't call it foam tape. If you put foam tape, you get some foam tape, but you don't find this one. This one, you have to put the word roll in to find it on their website, Sticks to Anything. If you put the word roll, this will be one of the things that comes up. But if you put foam tape, it's just wider stuff. And I really like the thickness of this. It's a good depth and it's a good width, so makes me happy. Right, just go round the circle. I know people say you can curve foam tape, and you can if you take off the top layer, but I don't like fiddling around with all the sticky. I'm afraid I don't care for it. So I'll put the rest on while I'm at it. This is for the edge so that everything is level. There we go. Just hope I can clean my mat sufficiently enough that there's no pigment residue to mess up the front of this panel. If there is, then we'll have to think again. Right. Cleo has now gone back home, my granddaughter. She's had a lovely couple of days with us. Right, now then, I thought that little bit there looked rather nice, didn't I? So if we cut off that, and we cut off this, hopefully I've got some left for my butterfly. I've got several bits there. So let's stick this onto there. So take these off. This is such a quick card. You do need time, of course, to let your background dry, but if you've got your background prepared, the card itself doesn't take a minute really. Just die cut your aperture, pop your background behind it, and stick it on your card. Done. Right, let's just have a look at this. Get it where I want it. You see, if I put that darker bit behind here, it'll show the leaves up more. That's my thinking anyway. There we go. Just got to take a bit more off the side there, I think. There we go. Don't stand on ceremony. That's going to go on there. Now let's look at our butterfly. I'm inclined to try. I've got enough to try both of these and see what we think. So the way to see what the butterfly is going to look like is just to cut it out from something else. So let me I'll cut out one of these and one of these, and then we can just see what the butterfly is going to look like. Let's will that fit on there? Just trying to be silly, really. All right, that one and that one. Okay. Right. I often do this if I've got a solid die and I want to have some pattern showing through it. I'll make a little window so I can actually see what I'm going to look at, like this. Do you see? I can look through there. If I like that, then that's what I would cut out. Let's have a look at this one. There's a bit here as well. That's obviously then a nice bit, isn't it? I quite like the shape of this one, actually. That kind of appeals to me. Right, I've decided I'm not going to do this one. I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do 2 layers. I could do a gold top layer, or I could have another one of the same thing, couldn't I? Oh, decisions. Let me think. I like that there, like that. It's rather nice. Okay. Right. Should cut it out. There we go. Yep, it's done it. Good-o. We are in business. I wonder what a gold one would look like. I'll try it. I will try it. I won't waste it on that. Let's just use a tiddly bit of something. There's a bit. But all these scraps, anybody would think didn't have a piece of card to my name. Right. Let me just try this in gold. I just have a fancy. Right. Gilding flakes. Not my gilding flakes, my gilding wax. Tidied up the drawer since the whole thing fell over. Right. Doesn't matter about tapping it off so much this time because I want the whole thing gold. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. Do you know, I'm going to try cutting out a coloured one, but putting a lot of gold onto it. I don't know if I like the whole thing the whole thing gold. Let's just try that. I need to wipe my finger. Right, let's just see. I'll do that in a minute. There we go. Right, let's cut out another little one in some of this. I could do that, but I'm just going to go straight to it. Right there. Right. What do I think? I'm going to put gold on this just to see if it's wrong. It's wrong, but we'll see. I'm just going to put it on the edge of this one. I do get in a mess doing this, but I just love it. Absolutely love it. There's all sorts of gilding stuff, and they have slightly different properties. This is definitely waxy. I've got gilding polishes, not quite the same consistency. Let's have a look at that. Yes, I prefer that. And then that can have a little, it could have a little gold dot in the middle. I could use a pearl and put some gilding wax onto a pearl, and that would make it gold. So there we go. Let's stick this together, put it onto my Facebook page, put it onto my Instagram account, and you can see I have to make a birthday card today for a friend to give to her friend who's got a birthday just a few days since her husband died. So it's really quite a difficult one to do. So I've got to have a little think about that one to see what I'm going to do. So that is my card from that background. Let's have a look and see what's happening to this background that I've already done. I'll stick those together presently. Here's our background. Here it is. It's not dry yet by any manner of means, but let's just take it off. Do you see? I think it would have been better if I'd left it longer to dry naturally. But that, I'll put it back on, doesn't matter. But I think I'll leave it, and I think it'll be more distinct if it's left to dry naturally. So that was probably a good thing that you saw that, really. So there we go. This is the technique of a background using pigment powders and spray laundry starch. Have a bit of fun. Go outside your comfort zone. Have a bit of fun. And as ever, thank you so much for watching.